Big changes could be coming to the workplace as certain employers prepare to reveal whether they pay men and women differently. We're learning more about what could happen straight ahead.
Plus, Bill Cosby back in the courtroom as his lawyers fight to have the charges against him thrown out. How they're arguing the case right now at 5:30.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kristen Farley.
And I'm Ryan O'Donnell. Thanks for joining us here at 5:30.
First up tonight, everyone, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission is proposing a change that would require certain businesses to report pay disparities between men and women. In other words, they would have to reveal whether women are being paid less than men to do the same work. And joining us now to explain the possible changes that could come about is the employment attorney, Jesse Nelson. Jesse, thank you so much for coming in.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Let's just first break down exactly what does this mean? How would this even work?
Okay, for larger employers, they have to now begin, well, not yet, but beginning in September of 2017, they will have to begin to explain in aggregate form how they pay men and women in certain pay scales, certain pay data scales that they now have to or will have to report to the EEOC and to federal agencies.
Is this a change to a law that's already on the book, or are there no laws like this right now?
Well, large employers already have to provide certain data on race, ethnicity, gender, things like that. So it's not completely a change, but it's new in that now they have to actually break it down by gender and pay and actually combine those two factors. And so that's a change, but it's also designed to actually enforce laws that are already on the books that prohibit discrimination among or by employers against females.
Was there a certain event, in your opinion, that has kind of led to this happening now?
Well, yes. One is just President Obama has made this a huge focus of his administration. In 2010, he formed a task force to look into the unequal pay of women for performing essentially the same work as men. And so that has sort of been the catalyst for this. This commission has studied the issue extensively, and these are some of the things that are now sort of being put into effect to address that issue.
All right, let's break this down. What are the likely impacts on employees and employers? I mean, ideally, I think, you know, speaking about this, we'd like to see pay increases and everyone be treated the same, but of course there could be pay decreases, I imagine, as well, so everyone's on the same playing field.
Well, and that's always a possibility, but in all honesty, I don't expect to see that. What the hope is that not only will this data enable federal agencies to investigate and sort of analyze this issue deeper, but on a more practical level, what we hope is that it will allow people to start paying attention to the issue. As it is, women generally receive about 71 cents for every dollar a man earns, and so the more we can see this in mathematical in a mathematical way, hopefully it will bring attention to
and
the
you
issue.
keep using the word "see this," so I've got to ask: would employees be able to log on somewhere, find this data, see it for themselves, and know, hey, the guy across the cubicle here is getting paid more than me?
Great question, and that's one undoubtedly employees are going to want to know. And unfortunately, right now the answer is no. It's a confidential form, it's confidential information, and at least for the time being, the federal government will be looking at everything in the aggregate. However, one thing that it will help us do, and I see this in my practice all the time, is to sort of be able to look at it in terms of an industry problem, look at it by industry, look at it by job category.
And
that's the hope.
And the conversation will probably continue on, and who knows what could come.
Absolutely.
All right,
yes.
Jesse, thank you so much for your perspective tonight. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, everyone. And for an in-depth look at this issue and what it really means for employers and employees, just go to our website, WATE.com, and click on the As Seen On section.